Welcome to Cozy Pet Journeys, where nature reveals its most touching stories of love, survival, and the unbreakable bonds of family. In this quiet corner of the world, a mother cat enjoys the gentle warmth of the afternoon sun on her soft fur. Her little son Titi is full of curiosity, exploring the world with wide eyes and a spirit that knows no fear. She watches him with a tender gaze, knowing that his safety is the most important thing in her entire life today. But the world is vast and unpredictable, and Titi's curiosity leads him further away from the safety of his mother's side. He discovers a deep shadow between the rocks, a mystery that calls to his adventurous spirit, unaware of the hidden danger. The mother senses a sudden shift in the air, her instincts screaming that something is wrong as Titi disappears from view. She calls out softly at first, expecting him to bounce back from the bushes, but only the wind answers her call. In a heartbeat, the ground gives way, and little Titi slips into the darkness, his small claws failing to find grip. A terrified cry pierces the silence of the forest, stopping the mother cat in her tracks and freezing her heart cold. She runs faster than she ever has before, guided only by the desperate cries of her baby echoing from the rocks. Arriving at the edge, she stares down into a terrifying drop, her worst nightmare becoming a reality right before her eyes. From the cold depths, Titi looks up to see his mother's silhouette, a tiny beacon of hope against the fading light. He is trapped on a precarious ledge, shivering from the damp cold, holding on with every ounce of his remaining strength. She cries out to him, her voice trembling but loud enough to let him know that he is not alone down there. He cries back, a sound so small and fragile that it breaks her heart into a million pieces in that moment. She frantically searches for a path, pacing the edge, but the walls are sheer and offer no easy way down. The wind picks up, carrying a biting chill that threatens to freeze the exhausted kitten clinging to the rock face below. She tests her footing, but the rocks are treacherous, crumbling under her weight and sending debris falling toward her scared son. The falling stones frighten him further, making him realize just how precarious his position is on that tiny, narrow ledge. She locks eyes with him, sending a powerful, silent promise that she will move mountains before she lets him fall. They are tiny specks in a vast wilderness, fighting a battle against gravity and time as the evening shadows grow longer. Night is falling fast, bringing with it a darkness that hides dangers and a cold that seeps into the bones. She stretches her arm down, straining every muscle, but the distance between them remains a heartbreaking gap she cannot bridge. He tries to reach for her, but his paws slip, and for a second, time stands still in absolute terror. She barks a sharp command, telling him to freeze, knowing that one wrong move could send him tumbling into the abyss. The cold is making him drowsy, his heavy eyelids drooping as the fatal urge to sleep begins to take over. Seeing his eyes close, she frantically scratches the stone, making loud noises to jolt him back to consciousness and alert. The sharp sound works, snapping him out of his daze, forcing him to focus on her face and her voice. Her gaze is intense and unwavering, silently screaming the promise that she will fight the entire world to save him. She realizes she must go down to him, choosing a path that looks impossible but is her only remaining option. With claws extended, she begins the treacherous descent, defying gravity with a courage born only from a mother's deep love. The ground betrays her, crumbling away, but her reflexes are sharp, catching herself just before she falls into the dark. Titi cries out, watching his savior struggle, fearing that he might lose the only one who can bring him home. She hangs there for a moment, chest heaving, gathering every ounce of will to continue this dangerous journey downward. Step by step, she lowers herself into the gloom, closing the distance between her warmth and his shivering little body. The sharp rocks cut into her paws, but she ignores the pain, driven by a force far stronger than physical suffering. She finds a temporary perch, closer now, but still separated by a gap that seems impossible to cross safely. Hope flickers in Titi's eyes as he sees her closer, his fear momentarily replaced by the trust he has in her. She calculates her next move, knowing that grabbing him is only half the battle. The climb up will be harder. Nature is not done testing them yet, as a sudden gust of wind threatens to blow them off their ledges. Disaster strikes as Titi slips, leaving him dangling over the abyss, holding on by nothing but his tiny, weak claws. She throws caution to the wind, leaping down to a lower rock, risking everything to reach him before he falls. His strength is fading fast, his cries becoming frantic squeaks of terror as he feels his grip slipping away. She stretches until her muscles burn, claws extending, reaching for him across the terrifying gap that separates life from death. Her world narrows down to this single point in time, her focus absolute, ignoring the abyss waiting below them both. Just as he lets go, she strikes, her jaws clamping firmly onto the scruff of his neck in a perfect rescue. She holds him there, suspended over the darkness, her jaw locked tight, bearing the weight of her most precious treasure. With a heave of incredible strength, she hauls him up onto the narrow ledge, pulling him back from the brink. They collapse together on the stone, the kitten burying himself in her fur, seeking the warmth and safety he thought lost. She grooms him frantically, her rough tongue washing away the dust and fear, reassuring him that he is safe now. He whimpers, still shaking, the trauma of the fall lingering in his small body despite being in his mother's arms. But the danger is not over. She looks up to see the daunting climb that still stands between them and safety. Night has fully claimed the forest, leaving them with only the pale, ghostly light of the moon to guide their way. She nudges him to stand, knowing they cannot stay here. The cold of the night is a silent killer they must escape. He stands on shaky legs, trusting her blindly, ready to follow her lead even though his body wants to give up. She grips him by the scruff again, but he is heavy, and the climb ahead will test the limits of her endurance. The first step is a struggle, the extra weight throwing off her balance, threatening to send them both tumbling back down. She sets him down, realizing with a sinking heart that she cannot carry him up the sheer wall without falling. She looks him in the eye, communicating that he must be brave, that he must find the strength to climb himself. He shrinks back, paralyzed by fear, the memory of the fall making the rocks look like monsters ready to eat him. She is gentle but firm, her soothing purrs reminding him that as long as she is there, he can do the impossible. She climbs a few inches and waits, showing him exactly where to place his paws, becoming his living, breathing guide. With trembling limbs, he mimics her, finding a foothold and pulling his small body up, driven by his trust in her. She is right there behind him, nudging him upward, her strength becoming his whenever his own muscles fail to lift him. They make progress, inch by painful inch, and with every step, a little bit of the kitten's courage begins to return. A shadow swoops from the dark, startling them, a reminder that the night holds many terrors for two small cats. She instantly becomes a shield, covering him with her body, her growl warning the darkness to stay away from her son. The adrenaline fades, leaving only exhaustion, and the deadly desire to close his eyes and sleep begins to overwhelm him. She knows that sleep means death, so she keeps him awake with rough licks and nudges, forcing him to keep moving. They face the hardest part of the climb, a sheer vertical face that offers no mercy and no room for error. She takes the burden again, gripping him tight, her neck muscles straining as she lifts him up the smooth rock face. Her strength is superhuman, born of desperation, her claws tearing into the stone, refusing to let gravity win this battle. They slip, the world spins, but she catches them at the last second, hanging by a thread over the deep void. She hangs there, muscles screaming, holding her son above the abyss, refusing to let go even if it costs her everything. With a final, explosive effort, she swings them up, placing her precious cargo onto a safe ledge before collapsing. She lies there, chest heaving, totally spent, having given everything she had to get them past the danger zone. Titi crawls to her, sensing her exhaustion, offering his small comfort to the warrior who just saved his life. She looks at him, eyes filled with love, knowing they are closer to the top, but the journey is not finished. Far above, the sky begins to lighten, a soft purple bruised with gold, promising that the long night is ending. She rises, limping now, pain in every step, but her spirit is unbroken as she prepares for the final ascent. The worst is behind them, the slope gentler now, as they make their way toward the freedom of the forest floor. Titi finds his footing, climbing with new confidence, checking back constantly to make sure his guardian is still there. She remains his shadow, a constant support, ready to catch him if he falls, guiding him toward the morning light. The rim of the pit appears above them, bathed in the soft, welcoming light of a brand new day. Excitement takes over, and Titi rushes, slipping on loose gravel, a reminder to stay careful until the very end. A gentle warning from his mother slows him down, teaching him patience even when freedom is just within reach. With one final pull, Titi scrambles over the edge, feeling the soft, dew-covered grass beneath his paws once again. She pulls herself up and collapses beside him, her strength finally gone, but her heart full of overwhelming relief. The sun rises to greet them, wrapping them in warmth, chasing away the cold shadows of the night they survived. Titi rolls in the grass, the simple joy of being alive and safe, filling his small spirit with happiness. She pulls him close, her rough tongue cleaning away the dirt of their ordeal, reclaiming him as her own. He purrs loudly, leaning into her touch, knowing that there is no place in the world safer than this. She checks him over one last time, finding him whole and healthy, a miracle considering the danger they faced. He notices her wounds and gently licks her paw, a small gesture of gratitude and love from son to mother. Exhaustion finally claims them both, and they drift into a peaceful sleep, intertwined under the watchful eye of the sun. The forest is alive again, with the songs of morning, a peaceful paradise that hides the trials of the night. Life in the forest goes on, other creatures passing by, witnessing the quiet aftermath of a great battle for life. She watches him sleep, knowing that she would do it all again in a heartbeat to keep him safe. The memory of the fall still haunts her, but the steady rhythm of his breathing brings her back to peace. It is time to go home, and she gently wakes him, ready to leave this place of danger behind forever. He wakes up, shaking off the sleep, and follows her with a bounce in his step, resilient and full of life. He walks closer to her now, the lesson learned, understanding that safety lies in the shadow of his mother. They head towards home, leaving the wild adventure behind, bound together by a night they will never forget. A final glance back at the danger zone, and Titi turns away, leaving his fear behind in the deep, dark pit. She pauses to reassure him one last time, their tails intertwining, a symbol of their unbreakable bond of love. Their faces glow in the light, a picture of pure happiness and relief, celebrating the gift of another day together. Titi leaps over a log, his playful spirit returning, proving that love can heal even the most terrifying of scars. A mother's love is nature's greatest force, a shield against the darkness, and a light that guides us home. We have witnessed a miracle today, a testament to the courage that lives within the heart of every mother. Remember that no matter how deep the pit or how dark the night, love will always find a way. Thank you for watching Cozy Pet Journeys. Please subscribe to join us for more incredible stories from the wild.